How are you? Good morning, good morning. We're here for our Monday meeting. I just poured myself a hot mug of, quite frankly, elevation blend coffee. I had quite a few family members last night that got to taste it for the first time, and they were really impressed. And I said, "Well, I'm glad you like it." They're like, "Congratulations, Frank." I get caught off guard when people in my family congratulate me, like, because I don't know, because there's I guess it is something to have a bag of coffee with your with your animated face on there. And I don't really pay attention to it because it's just got to move on to the next thing. I just want a coffee. Let's just do that. That's fun. I see it as fun, but they really enjoyed it. It's good. Even non-coffee drinkers love the coffee. Good morning, ENV. Just waiting for people to file in a little bit. Italian families, yes. Yes. They're very impressed when you do something with food. Okay? You can go, I don't know, there's a lot of things that might just fly right over their heads, but an Italian family will be very impressed with you if you have your own food something. What's up, Joe? What's up, Joe? Sean, I'm drinking a caramel oatmeal flavored coffee. Any chance, quite frankly, will come out with something like similar? Caramel oatmeal flavored? I mean, uh, Coffee Revolution. Coffee Revolution, who actually makes the Elevation Blend coffee, when they sent me, I think it was in 2022 or 2023, that we were looking for a coffee provider because our other one that we had been working with, they went out of business because shipping costs from Alaska was so much, and they just couldn't handle it anymore, even though it was very popular. And when Coffee Revolution showed up, they sent me a couple of bags. They printed up a like an example sticker of what, a label, what it would look like. They used some imagery from the show. I really like the effort, but they also sent me a couple of other things that they say, here, try all different types of stuff. They had a blueberry flavored coffee. They do flavored coffee over there. I just Whatever we do, I'll put it to you this way: if we do like a limited run with something that's flavored, it would be in addition. I'm not moving the elevation. I love the light roast too much. I don't want to swap it out. So that's always going to be a constant. But let's say next Christmas comes around and we wanted to do something a little bit more aromatic. I don't know. That'd be fun to try it out, like a limited run with a very subtle flavor. I'd be okay with it. Big thing is this: I got a couple of my friends and family to try this last night. I gave a couple of sample packs to my brother Anthony today. He just texted me before the Keto Brainz. He just texted me before. Now I'm really gonna give myself a nice boost. He texted me about, I don't know, a half hour ago, and he said, dude, this tastes exactly like it did when we used to bulletproof our coffee. And I said, I told you, it's the MCT oil, but it's powdered, so it's not a big oily mess. We used to love bulletproofing the coffee. That was with the oil, and we would get the farm raised butter, and we would just blend the oil and the butter into the coffee and all that stuff. And it came out great. We had a good time with it, but it's too much effort. And the Keto Brainz has all this stuff, including shit that wasn't in the bulletproof, like the GPC, but also the L-theanine and the lion's mane. So I'm gonna be on a rampage. I'm gonna get the show done and then some over the next couple of hours. But yeah, Joe, I hope you're excited. I have already sent out, and I paid for it all, sample packets to, I think we got over 80 people on the list. So if you're a monthly sponsor and you want to try some stuff, let me know. But if you're not a monthly sponsor, you still want to try it, I got a 20% code um, in the description of this stream. Okay, so 5 minutes in, I think enough people are here. Let's start brainstorming. It's our Monday meeting. Hold on, I need a spoon. It's our Monday meeting. So the next 3 days, let's see. I've got look at what's on the floor. It's not real. My cousin Sherry and Dave came by last night, and they brought a whole stack of fake $100 bills and a money shooter. You could put them into a gun. You put the dollar bills into a gun, and it fires them all out. So it's like a gun you take to the strip club and just make it rain. Anyway, so there's $100 bills all over the floor. I wish they were real. They could have been real. I was a field goal away from $2,500 pot last night, but it was a long shot. It was a long shot because at that point of the game, there's no way that the Chiefs would have settled for just a field goal when you're down 30. Why the hell? Did I like the game? I liked I really loved my company. My parents were here. Some good friends were here. Family, extended family. It was good. It was a good night. But the game was terrible. The actual gameplay, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how horribly the Chiefs played. They certainly didn't get any help from the refs. I know a lot of people were looking out for that. That was just nowhere in the. The Eagles played well, no doubt about it. They were dominant, but the Chiefs were horrible. So it made for a puzzling game. I'll say this tonight there too, because I'll just put it into the format up front. It made for a puzzling game in that respect. Commercials are a non-factor. There's nothing interesting about the commercials. I used to actually have to find time in the game to go to the bathroom and stuff like that because you didn't want to miss the commercials when you were younger because you're going to be surprised by something, really awesome cameos. There's no creativity left. It all sucks. And the fact that people are paying $8 million, well, they're paying $8 million for 30 seconds because it's being broadcast in over 150 countries. But, so the commercials, they're just nothing. I don't need to be wowed by anything. I would just think that this would be a really interesting time to get some airtime to a company or whatever, or to introduce an innovative new product or a service. There's nothing, I don't need to be entertained by commercials. That used to be like the icing on top. The commercials are entertaining, but they are also attached to interesting products or something like that. There's that. What else? The halftime show was flat. Kendrick Lamar is huge. I got a lot of friends who love Kendrick Lamar, and I've listened to a lot of his stuff through them, and I actually like quite a bit of it. I just don't own any of it. But it wasn't even so much about him. It was just, it felt like a flat production. The production seemed flat. I don't know. So the halftime thing was, if I was watching the Super Bowl by myself, it would have been a really night, But like I said, it's just about the company you keep. And if you have yourself a couple of good Super Bowl boxes from whatever deli that you go to, then that keeps you in the game too. Rosie watched the Three Amigos. There you go. I was looking at the halftime from an occult standpoint because, we've done a lot of that over the years, brought people on, number of people, not just Ryan Gable, to come on and de-occult the Super Bowl halftime show. And And just from what I've picked up from all those years of hosting people who do this, you know, as one of their main things, I don't know. Like I said, it was just flat. In fact, I saw some people putting together threads that they're theorizing that if there was any kind of message from the halftime show, it was that the of course the last thing that you saw was game over. So that got a lot of Q people saying, "Oh, game over! It's a delta" or something like that. But um, I don't know. It was just kind of benign to forgettable. If you're a Kendrick Lamar fan, you like seeing people that you follow pop up at wherever the hell you can get them. You know, um, but for a Super Bowl show, I mean, there's still some good rock bands out there, even some old ones. Doesn't have to be Metallica, even though Metallica can rip off. They're pretty good as a cover band too. I just don't understand why you can't do something a little bit more general appeal. I don't know. Let's see. Lame all around. The only symbolism I saw was the big X, a circle, and the game over on the American flag. I like Lamar's woman's jeans, flared out. He had bell bottoms out on. Even the Chiefs can play better than Lars. That's from Mark Swan. Oh, Lars. Lars Ulrich. I'll always love him, though. Don't worry about next year. They'll have Taylor Swift. They can't do that, AK. That can't be done. She was booed mercilessly. She was, I mean, there was that. She was booed mercilessly. Trump was cheered. They cannot. She cannot be asked to perform at the Super Bowl for at least another 15 years. She's going to be getting ready for AARP before she's asked to perform at the Super Bowl. And I think she knows that. She's going to be an AARP member before she. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But listen, they what did anybody do a counter? Because before the game started, my buddy Mike was over here last night, and I said, he said, "Hey Frank, listen, he does a lot of media production for Quite Frankly now," and he was hanging out, and he said, I think I'm going to do a counter of how many times they show Trump and how many times they show Taylor Swift." I don't know if he actually stuck with that, if he actually did the count, but they didn't show a lot of it. I mean, they dipped. I saw Paul McCartney and um, the president of FIFA and stuff like that, but I feel like they didn't show a lot of it. They definitely didn't show a lot of Trump. He got a couple of shots when he was saluting, but my mom's a clueless Dem, says Magavelli, and was saying someone's gonna hurt Trump. She had no idea how crazy the Dems are now, but she is one. Well, I mean, everything came and went, and everything was fine. Yeah, yeah, they kept it to a minimum. AK, they kept it to a minimum. I think that they listen. If you're in television, if this is your job, that you have to understand what the audience likes or doesn't like, and there was no doubt about it. They said let's keep Taylor Swift to a minimum, and I think it's pretty obvious why they would keep Trump to a minimum as well. They said, how about we just keep everybody to a minimum? So I didn't watch any of the pregame stuff because it's all the weepy bullshit. And I personally can't stand all of the. They do it with baseball. They do it with everything. Basketball. Whenever there's a big game, there's always some gigantic dramatic production to make it seem like there's the fate of the universe is at stake here, and that there's never been a bigger human story told than what is about to be played out on this field or this court. I Can't stand it. It's so fucking cringy. You know? Again, bring out a nice rock band or something like that. Fireworks, whatever. Have the teams run out and just start playing. But man, I can't take the universe is on the line drama before every sports game that I watch. So, anyway, thanks again. Thanks again to Keto Brainz. This is a long time coming in my mind. I'm not one to take on business sponsors. I'm very picky with the sponsors that I have for a number of reasons. You know, you just don't know what you're going to get caught up in. That's why I don't touch crypto. I don't touch much. I had a CBD sponsor once, but this is something, coffee I can get behind. Can't say he's beholden to big coffee. He's just a shill for the lion's mane mushroom lobby. So he's a shill. Gold is up? Well, good. Stay diversified, everybody. Okay, so those are some thoughts about last night and where we are today. Katie says coffee is actually the second biggest industry in the world next to oil. Great. Great. Now this is going to start. He's just in it to sell coffee. I don't know. I used to like him before he started selling the coffee. There's something up with him. All right, let's get into the chat room a little bit more. For tonight, I really want to bring, Illuminati and the coffee is big for me. Very big. Got to talk about Elon Musk and DOGE and the show. The shit writes itself. Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Listen, I'm looking at it right here. Just the new information about FEMA. Just the new information about FEMA alone. Last week, FEMA, in defiance of all the executive orders, sent nearly $60 million to New York City so they can prop up all the people who are still being housed in the Roosevelt Hotel and other places. I mean, it's just happening all over the place. The money has to dry up now. Now, let New York, let anywhere else try to keep this up with its own funds. Let it happen. It's got to be pulled now. It's incredible the exposure that it's getting, though. I saw the Josh Shapiro accusations, the theories about the assassination. We can definitely go back into the assassination because, I mean, again, I know that when you talk about Las Vegas, the Las Vegas shooting out there, that is a gigantic issue, and it was swept away. It's gone. They were saying we'll never know what it was, and don't even think about going to finding anything substantial on the internet about Stephen Paddock. But when it comes to Butler, I know that the target was one person instead of hundreds of people. But when that one person is a presidential candidate who's already been president, I mean, we knew it was going to be swept away just the same way. It has been. So there's a Josh Shapiro theories right now, but everything that we already know about what happened in Butler back in July, it does bear review every once in a while, because especially when Kash Patel is in there, I don't see why Donald Trump wouldn't have him assign a special investigation for that right off the bat. Right off the bat. The seas parted so that this strange little ghost of a 19-year-old or however old he was, this strange little ghost with no digital imprint could overtake the greatest personal security apparatus in the world. We got to talk about it. Good morning, Andrew. The database to search USAID and the grants is pretty good. Listen, those grants are all. Listen, I saw over the weekend Tracy, Flynn, Lara Logan. That stuff doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of people out there who want to collect scalps, and if you already don't like a person or whatever, and you're gonna use it as fuel. But JFK started USAID and while he was still alive. We're talking about trillions of dollars, and that's not even that's not even the biggest organization that's sloshing this around. Trillions of dollars, and it has that money over the years has gone to actually feeding hungry children. It has also, as I said before, gone to, as we just saw, promoting atheism in Nepal. All of it should not be. All of it should not be. I mean, it's very easy to be consistent on this. Money, grant money especially, that has flown through organizations like USAID, other non-government organizations or whatever, has gotten into it has gotten into operations that many of us are approving of. But whether we like it or not, it's got to stop. It should never have been. This, you know, I mean, it's insane. When I saw, so there's 59 million last week from DOGE that they saw with FEMA, but before that, where the hell's the other thing? Um, what was it? Look, it was the CBO. Um, Maybe I can find on Elon Musk's. Hold on, give me a second. I think it was something. It was the CBO, and then I'll get into the chat room again. I'm going to bring Chris Ann Hall on for 30 minutes tonight in the first half because I have questions to her about how to make this permanent. I have questions for her is specifically about acts of Congress that are illegal. You know, USAID for example. Organizations like that have been created via executive order. How can Congress limit the executive from creating these things? Does Congress need to repeal a law that was passed illegally when the understanding I have is that if Congress goes outside the bounds of the enumerated powers to create a law, that is automatically null and void. So why does it need to be repealed? Does that mean judicial review or whatever? So maybe it does have to just maybe Congress is the basis for everything. But hold on a second. Um, Wait. Worried that we are on the nope. Wait, I want to find this particular thing with the CBO because that was I think we're talking in the hundreds of millions, if not billions. 59 million there. Okay, we got it. We got it. God. It's in my other notes over there in my format. The money's just all over the place. My statement about government has to follow laws. No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't say that. That is an assumption. A law is there to be followed, no doubt about it. But my question is, if a law was passed illegally outside the bounds of the law, does a law need to be passed? Does a bill need to be passed to repeal something that never had the authority of law? That's a question. I'm talking about technical questions. Whether or not the criminals that run the world are going to actually follow these protocols is aside from the fact that when I bring people like Chris Ann Hall on, it is for self edification reasons. I want to know how we are supposed to function so that when all of the mindless retards around us that go nuts about one thing or another, they don't know what they're talking about, you would at least know how to counter that if there is an opportunity to counter it. To perhaps pass along some information to anybody that might be receptive to it, so that we're all not just running around with our chickens with our heads cut off. Because when you do that and you don't understand what's going on, when you say, "Oh, well, laws, nobody follows laws anyway," then it almost gives you more reason to root for people to do things that are illegal that we approve of. Okay, like we said before, USAID, JFK. We've sainted JFK many times over for one reason or another. He did a lot of bad on a policy level. I mean, he was a progressive. They're always going in one direction. Even though if you compare him to modern day progressives, he'd be a conservative. Um, but you think about that. Every penny that has flowed through that organization, USAID, has served multiple purposes. Both clandestine, very openly, publicly good things, and of course now, as we can see, that it is helps comprise the lifeblood of an entirely autonomous monster that operates all over the world. And whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it should never have been. And there's no better time than right now to stop it. It's got to stop. Let's see here. So I guess here's the question, because we've been on for about 26 minutes. I don't want to go too much farther beyond half hour, 40 minutes. Where do you guys have any questions about any of this stuff from a standpoint of the Constitution, how procedure? Do you have any questions about procedure and anything like that? Let me know. I want to write it down right now. I'll put it into my notes for consideration with Chris Ann or anybody else that we bring on going forward. No, the creamer's already kicking in. I'm actually drinking it right now so that when I get off the phone with you guys, I'm going to be in work mode, and then I'm going to blast through stuff. Why did Elon destroy the downloads from the Treasury if it's unconstitutional? Elon, you know what? How about this? Oh, you're talking about the judge ordered him to destroy it? Okay. Yeah, I remember that headline. I did not read the rest of the story. Elon destroy Treasury. Court order. Why? Obey. I'll figure that out. Okay, let's see. A judge's right to block EOs. Well, there's always a chance to no income tax. The Federal Reserve question, that's going to be a big one. There's a couple of questions I can ask Chris Ann Hall, which will turn a half-hour slot into an hour-long slot. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Let me see. Is ending the Fed? I know we've done this in the past. Ending the Fed. What does the next day look like without CBDC? Next day. Let's see. The activist judges writ mandamus. Is property tax legal? Yes, on a state level. Your states can do whatever it wants. Everything that the federal government cannot do, your state can do, as long as it is in agreement with your state constitution. AK 4chan. Okay, I'll take a look at that. See, I like these Monday meetings. All right. Stop paying those taxes. Yeah, okay. That's another thing I have to bring on. I bring on this other guy to talk about this. We've done it before. The um, the sovereign movement and not paying taxes or tax avoidance or whatever the hell it is. Always interesting to listen to, but is it a risk? It's a risk that I think a lot. I don't know. I would like to get in. That's going to be another show. That's going to be another show altogether. Elon's geeks went on and downloaded the Treasury database in a matter of hours. All info is there. No one needs to do anything else. Can the executive ask the judiciary to review a legislative matter? Put that down. I have a cousin who did serious time for not paying taxes. Every time I have done that topic on the show, there have been people who got in touch with me and say, I haven't paid taxes in 30 years, Frank, and blah blah blah, and this is our right, and all the philosophical reasons why, and I have plenty of my own philosophical reasons why taxation is theft and absolutely immoral, especially outside the bounds of how we allow it to go on local levels, which is the best way because then you can affect policy a lot easier in a local level. You can also vote with your feet. You can move. You can move from one town to the next. Avoid one, whatever. But whenever we do those shows, I'll get people say, "Oh no, this is right and true, and everything is fine." Seriously, they don't want you to know about it. And then I get a couple of dozen people who email me telling me about the horror shows in their life. The horror show of thinking that they can get around it or having family that are still in jail or whatever the hell's going on. It is, it makes you wonder, are you going to be the one person? Are you going to be the one person who didn't show up for the SATs? All the other kids like, yeah, you know what? Fuck the SATs. No, we're not going to take it. Yeah, well, that morning, most of your friends are showing up to take the test. Most are showing up to take the test. Where are you going to be? That's just what it comes down to. Sir Ozone, thank you so much. All the best to you. To pay taxes is completely voluntary. Just saying. Oh, yes, everything in life is voluntary. And with voluntary action comes consequences. Some of those consequences are good. The immediate is that you won't have to pay taxes. That's the immediate, I would have to say, benefit of not paying taxes is that you won't have to pay the taxes. The estate tax is horrendous. Self-employment tax is almost as bad as the estate tax as far as abject immorality goes. Um, no tax, okay. After DOGE exposes it all, then what? Good question. Because this comes back to the main point for me. After DOGE exposes it all, after whoever, because it's not just DOGE. Remember what Brendan Dilley said? Elon Musk is a probably a very willing lightning rod of a person right now. Um, he's a very, very willing lightning rod at this point, and he's got a lot of people screaming about him and focusing on him, but there are other people who are not very well known. The Russ Vogt guy is pretty well known, and he's going to be making waves on his own. But who knows? You know, Dilly was talking about a mystery man who is not Russ Vogt. He got very, very specific with that with me. Who's not the vote guy? But who knows how many people like that are going to be in there picking through stuff and pointing out. The real question is, when you find it, then what happens? And what does Congress do to make this permanent? And once the spending is found and cut off, then you have to imagine that this would come along with some pretty serious investigations, because this is not all a mistake. What do you do from there to figure out where the hell, what the intent of the whole thing was and who was involved? Legislation has been introduced to end the income tax in the IRS as of January. Yeah? I should get in touch with my accountant. Say, hey, when I get all of the last of my stuff together, do we just wait it out, or do we file an extension? Do we get it? Do we get all my stuff together and just file an extension in the case that the income tax is gone by June? I would hate to pay this. Or does everybody who paid their income tax for the previous year get it all back? The income tax. Hold on. Congressional action on income. Because that's an amendment, no? That's an amendment. Repeal. What would be needed? This is going to be longer than a half hour. Whatever. I got questions, and so do you. Income tax. What would be needed for repeal on a congressional level? Can't just do this through executive order. Never owed on my taxes until Biden came in. I had to pay every year since 2021. And they don't need it when you think about everything else that they're stealing. It's incredible. It's the money that's being tossed around right now. Never owed. I can't remember. When was the last time I got a return? When was the last time I could have possibly gotten a return? I have no clue. I have no clue. Especially after going like self-employed with everything. Because even to a point, I was, after Obamacare, which was what, 2010? Around 2010, when Obamacare came in and I lost my part-time insurance through the gym I was working at, insurance I was totally happy with. There was no real reason to even prioritize working at the gym when I was a personal trainer. So I would, at that point, I started prioritizing marketing myself for private and semi-private sessions. I was, in parks doing boot camps, things like that. So that was all. I said, I'm not getting insurance anymore. That's obvious. So I might as well just leave the gym. So I haven't even had a W-2 since shortly after Obamacare passed. It's all been self-employment. And that is a pain in the ass, man. Can you claim the super chats as tips? No tax on tips. I don't know. I don't know. My accountant is going to have to. My accountant would have to let me know that I I essentially, unless it is actually gifted to me. Like, let's say there are some things, like there have been tips over the years. Like somebody will say, "Hey Frank," like a PayPal will come through, and somebody will say, "Frank, I'm a I'm a longtime viewer. I really appreciate you. I just want to send you a little gift and thank you so much." Yeah, it's outside of a show. It's outside of a broadcast. It's not in exchange for a for a like a shirt. There's no exchange there. It's just one person showing appreciation. I have been I have been decent with taking note of those things and asking my accountant, is this a gift? Is this a tip? Whatever the hell else. But across the board, I just report everything. It kills me. It kills me that we all have to do this stuff. Report. We have to report what we make. We have to tell. That is just so disgusting that we all have to do that. It's just disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Is cash a gift via snail mail treated differently on paper than online? Uh, I have to imagine. Well, I mean, for all of you guys, I'm just talking in general. Somebody asked me about super chats, but think about with all you guys. If somebody sent you a PayPal at the end of the year, PayPal gives you like a 1099. PayPal gives you a 1099, so you can even just whatever. You can go and you can make sense of it and make sure that all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted. But it's all digital, and as we know, the IRS has been employing AI. I know Elon Musk is showing up with his interns, and they are setting it loose. They're setting some programs loose. You can't show up at the Treasury Department and get an understanding of what's going on over there in just a couple of days without having some really sophisticated computer programs there that are looking for very sophisticated things. But yeah, cash would be king in all of our lives. If you actually want to have any kind of privacy, cash would be king in all of our lives. That's it. When I was personal trainer, the best thing about personal training is cash. You know, that's the best thing about opening up a pizzeria for the most part. A lot of cash business at pizzerias. You get yourself into any kind of brick and mortar situation where you are dealing in dough, actual dough. You're making a pastry, you're making a pizza. First of all, the dough is so inexpensive. So inexpensive. How much is a small wad of dough for a that would make your 14 or 16-inch pizza? Like $1 or $2. At least it was. Then you're going to buy the pizza for 16 bucks. It's good business. But yeah, that's the biggest thing when people say, "Well, CBDCs or any kind of digital currency, I don't like it. I don't like it because it's just a privacy invasion." This is the invasion. You have privacy when you have cash in your pocket and you can give something to somebody, they can give it to you, and you can exchange, and nobody knows the wiser. And that should be the whole thing. It shouldn't feel like a dirty thing is happening. Over the years, we've been trained to feel like we're doing something bad for transacting with people in our lives or in our communities or on vacation or whatever with money that we earn because the government needs its cut first. That's mafia boss shit. It's not a concept that anybody that was crafting the structure, the framework for a free nation would ever come up with. It's not a concept that they would ever come up with. It's all nonsense. So yeah, I mean that would be the greatest thing for all of us. For all of us. They can't turn off cash. Well, they're going to try to. Most people transact with their debit cards as it is. You know, it wasn't too long ago we were saying, oh, they can't turn off checks. When was the last time any of you guys were stuck online at a grocery store behind a little old lady who takes out her checkbook and is writing out a check for her groceries? When was the last time you were stuck behind somebody? If you have, it's happening less and less because that generation is gone. That generation is largely going. It's happening less and less. I haven't seen that in years. Sure, it still happens, but I mean, come on. So first it was the checks, then it's the cash. Last time was like 10 years ago, says Magavelli. 15 years ago, J5000. Ra Soul said last week. Hey, listen, it's not gone yet, but compared to your shopping experience from 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I mean, I still write checks. It's usually for rent, things like that. But well, coupons. Everybody should be couponing. If you're not checking out coupons, then I mean, you're selling yourself short. I really have a lot of respect for bargain hunters, and I have a couple of really good bargain hunters in my life. I have a lot of respect for you bargain hunters out there. You know, our grandparents, they were renowned for going to the AMP for a certain product because they know that it's cheaper there. Then they go to another grocery store for other products because they get a really good deal there. They get a 3-for-1 over here at the other one. We're gonna go to the farmers market for that one. Everybody knew each other. It was I really have a lot of respect for bargain hunters. I used to be an extreme couponer. Good for you. Pickled Gamer is an excellent bargain hunter. Good. Good. I was a cashier at grocery stores as a teen. Ladies used to bring in files with coupons. Labeled stores used to have full carts full of, see, full carts for fractions of the price. They put it out there. And you know what? The coupons exist for a reason. The products themselves, they want to be sold. They're trying to differentiate themselves. A lot of American products are going to be able to do that. You know who are going to be couponing a lot more? Tariffed. There's a lot of tariffed products that are coming in from outside the United States. They're going to be couponing. Those companies are going to be couponing a lot more because they're going to need reasons to bring people, back to the. So this is what the competition is going to be great. I like it. The nonstop crying about the price of eggs, as if doing right by our economy and doing right by our country was going to be an instantaneous change by way of executive order is hilarious. It's just we're dealing with incredible amounts of ignorance all over the place, and even we need to learn a little bit more too. But Ben Shapiro being charged with attempted assassination on Trump. No, Ben Shapiro. It's not Ben Shapiro. It's Ben Shapiro. Oh. Oh man, I really hope that they get to that there is a big time. Can you imagine if we have revelations like that these days? See, this is a game of telephone right there. I woke up to the theories about Josh Shapiro at in Pennsylvania being a part of the assassination attempt, about the planning of it all. I woke up to the theories on that. I'm still looking at it. Hey, I'm open. I'm open to anything. Let's have some fun with it. And already in the comments section, I'm just like, I saw somebody say, "Wait a second, is is Josh Ben Shapiro's brother?" Which that made me laugh all because it could be a troll, but it could just be somebody, whatever. And then to look at the chat room over here and have it now shift completely to Ben Shapiro, that it was Ben Shapiro that talk about a game of telephone. I love that. That's hilarious. Oh God. Can you imagine Ben Shapiro getting hauled away in chains? He actually was. He actually was the guy behind it all. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hold on. Who was it? It was Sam Tripoli shared some ridiculous shit. A fake Ben Shapiro tweet. I love it. Where Tripoli? I got to get Sam back on the show again soon. It's been too long. Where is his fake Ben Shapiro tweet? Come on. Hold on. I'm just gonna read this and then I'm gonna get off, because I have to start putting these notes to use, and it'll be good. I'll see you guys at 7 o'clock tonight. Come on, where is it? Oh, hold on. I commented on it, so let me go to my replies. Here it is. So Sam, in his dry trolling way, said, "Wait, what?" And he shared this tweet from supposedly Ben Shapiro from September 20th, 2020. Aurora was only 6 days old. And here's what he said. Here's the tweet. Hold on. Let me read it to you. The thing with homosexuality and transgenderism is that it simply boils down to exerting control over your impulses. Like, say you have a hot sister, you fantasize about it, maybe you steal her underwear a couple of times, but it goes no further than that. Going right back to Ben Shapiro's big boobied sister again. I love these fake tweets. And when Sam, wait, what? Like Ben Shapiro just it's hilarious too, because you have this tweet about homosexuality and exerting self-control over your impulses and whatever, but this version of Ben Shapiro had no control over the impulse to tweet this out. I know I'm explaining the joke here, but just talking that, well, we're talking about Ben Shapiro, and I just thought that was funny. All right. Anyway, you guys have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your morning, and enjoy the rest of your coffee. I'm almost done with that. The Keto Brainz link is in the description of this episode. If you are a sponsor of the show and you still haven't gotten more and more samples are going out. But if you're a sponsor of the show and you want some samples of this stuff, it's amazing. You put it in more than your coffee, or you can just dump it right in your mouth. That's what she said. And you just get in touch with me. And also, if you are a sponsor of the show, you now have a recurring 20% off for this stuff. And I gave you all that don't tell anybody. That's an exclusive code. We're going to change it every couple of months so it stays exclusive. Second cup of coffee. Well, let me just raw dog this first one. I'll see you guys at 7 o'clock. Be well, and anything else, send over to me at the Gilded or the Discord, or send it to me in email, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good peace. Peace to you all.